Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to be playing Thresh, and I'm going to be taking on the Garen adventure from the Legends of Arcane campaign. We're just going to be moving along through the various adventures until we hit the more difficult ones. Theoretically, this should be decent enough. I mean, Thresh's deck is very poor in the early game, so the opponent has an opportunity to grow his units quite a lot with the Damascene Might. But hopefully we can make up for that problem by just getting good cards in our draft. Also, we're taking Corrupted Star Fragment on Thresh because that's a way to kill our units on demand and give Thresh both stats and keywords. That's always good. Now let's see, style on them, Ashes to Ashes, bet on set. Ashes to Ashes normally would be pretty great because it gives us a free unit every turn, but the fact that the opponent's units just grow massively every turn is quite bad for us. I'm still going to take it. The worst case scenario, we just mulligan aggressive for the wings and the wave and turn 1 summon a 3-3 every time. Maybe that's the way to make up for our poor early game. Let's just mulligan everything to try to hit the wings and the wave. And we don't. Unlucky. I guess we're using the Warden Spray as our early unit. Though it won't last that long, we're going to have to trade it in. Or I can just drop on the Kamavaran Soldier. That's nice as well. That's not great. I guess we're using the Prey as a jump blocker. And hopefully we'll draw into a Vengeance to remove that massive unit. Or I can just Thresh it down. Never mind, the opponent has another single combat. Yeah, he hard runs single combat, so those weren't generated, it just has those in deck. Crap. Well, it's not like Thresh was going to cheat out anything, it was mostly just so I could have a decent unit on board. Let's just do this, draw some cards. There is the wings and the wave. Extremely late to the party. It will be alright, I can drop them down here to buff up one of them by quite a lot based on the amount of units that died last round. And we have another Thresh. Let's not be so reckless with it, shall we? I'd rather have him around in order to grow it by a lot. He still has enough mana for a single combat. I'm going to trade the wings and the wave in. Are you really not going to do anything? You're a jerk. I wanted to get Thresh down, but this is just better because the opponent's just not doing anything.
Yeah, I'm up.
Do I go for more blockers or do I go for bigger units? I think a bigger unit's better. Let's do this.
Beamer, you go for the ankles. I got the knees.
Now that he only has 3 mana, I'm more comfortable just dropping down Thresh. He pulls that there. It's a clean trade. I can jump block here, block there. We can trade this guy in and this guy in. We have the regeneration, so we don't really need to clear things up with vengeance, but you know what, maybe doing it this way is better. It increases the amount of units dying, so Thresh levels up, and something is going to be incredibly strong by the end of this, based on the amount of units that are dying here. Let's drop down the Warden Spray. Either it or Thresh are going to be huge. And I guess it's Thresh. Ooh, Thresh with Scout. That's perfect to get rid of the opponent's ward. And closing out the game, I suppose. Like so. Perfect. We won the game, and we didn't even lose that much health. We only lost 5. Hopefully this is a sign of things to come. I am going to need to do something to deal with the Elise, because last time I attempted this run, I ended up being screwed by the spiderlings. None of these are that great, so let's reroll. Poro Party, Grand Plaza, the Darkened Staff, nah. Silent Shadow Seer. Worst case scenario, it's a 3-3 that gives something elusive, but Mark of the Isles is a decent buff. Let's pick up the Mark of the Isles. Now, our champion. Kayn, Morgana, or Irelia. Kayn with Excavator's Charge. With cheat out a 2-5. Kayn is probably the best one to cheat out. The Darkened Lodestone is not that great, neither is the Keeper of the Box, but the Keeper of the Box sometimes will have lifesteal, and that's pretty good. Let's pick the Kayn. Shop, the Rekindler. Let's go for the shop. I need something good to deal with the Elise. Maybe we'll find it in the shop. Wings and the Wave, yeah, that's a good keep. I'm going to keep the Vile Fist as well. The Camovoran Soldier curves nicely from the Wings and the Wave on turn 3. So, let's do this. Startled Stomper first turn. I should have figured. Well, I'm still going to do this. Mostly because it reduces the cost of the Thresh and also buffs up my Wings and the Wave by 1. Now it's a 4-4. Maybe the opponent trades in. Well, I can Vile Fist that down now. And the opponent doesn't even have a buff. Perfect. I need to draw next turn because I'm dangerously out of cards. That's a lifesteal unit, that's perfect for me. Because that way we can heal ourselves back up. Unfortunately we drew both Kayns and not a single Thresh. There's a Thresh. That's exactly what I needed. And he's even stunning the unit I don't need to attack with. Everything's going my way. Let's pull that. I suppose I can pull this just so I can get 1 damage in. That's fine by me. Next turn one of my units is going to get all of these keywords. Unfortunately Thresh is dying here. I didn't know they hard ran Battlestar. Well, I learn something new every day. Well, we're still in a decent position. opponent's continuously summoning elusives. But we're fine. Really? What exactly do you accomplish by doing that? I suppose he buffs up the sneaky Zeebles by a bunch. But with the amount of units dying, I feel like things are better for me than they are for him. I can favorably trade something in, like so. And then we let things go. Something else is going to be given lifesteal. I'm still at 40. Life's good. We'll probably just have to end up playing to drain the opponent out of resources. Actually no, I can just shadow that guy down. Keep control of the board that way. And from here I can drop down as Rust, have a bit more stability and a little bit more reach with the Overwhelm, and we even buff up the Rust, which is ideal for us. Yeah, things are definitely coming my way this game. Even though the opponent just dropped down a 8-4. Let's do this. Or maybe I just play the Orazi. Dissuade him from attacking with the Grandfather Rommel. Yeah, let's do that. He still attacks. Well then, I can just do this and have 2 of the opponent's units die. And I don't really need the 9-9. Because next turn I can just kill that thing with Thresh. Or with the Vengeance, if I so desire. Yeah, let's go ahead and kill it with the Vengeance. It's only a 6-10. It's no huge threat or anything. The opponent got another elusive, so... or 2 more elusives. So maybe I am under a bit of a threat. It's fine, I'll draw into something good here. That's a full board. I have removal, so I'm fine. And I also have some ways to jump block the opponent's stuff. We can do this. Then we can block that there, we'll block there, we'll block there. Most of the opponent's board's gone. He's going to heal 8, but next turn I have more than enough damage to kill him. So while it did take a bit longer than I wanted, we still managed to close out the game without losing much of anything. So I'd say things worked out very well for me. I'm still worried about Elise. Elise is definitely going to be the biggest challenge in this run. The fact that we won't be able to reliably draw things out like we did last game is definitely going to mess with us. Revive the strongest dead allied champion for 3 slow speed. Or Darkwater Scourge. Darkwater Scourge is a nice burst of healing on an offensive turn, so I think that's going to be better than the other options. The box deals 3 to the opponent's nexus, Extech Fabricator and Vengeance, or Glimpse Beyond, draw 3. 3 very solid options here. Let's see what the power is. Whoosh, Game Start, Summon of a Stein Disciple. I'm going to reroll 1 here. Reunited. Okay, that's significantly better. Now my units are a bit more aggressively started. They can trade a bit easier into the opponent's stuff. I'm definitely getting another copy of Vengeance, especially if it has one item. The box might be good against the Elise, but I think I'd rather have the Glimpse Beyond with Elixir of Skill. It's a bunch of card draw for cheap. Yeah, let's go with it. Now for the card cut. I think I can afford to cut the Darkin Lodestone. We don't really need it. Not really equipping it a lot.
Strand by silken
Our game plan is mostly based around our units. Not so much one unit that attacks a bunch of times. Now here I'm going to keep a Cursed Keeper. And I'm going to toss everything else back because I know at the very least Cursed Keeper can trade into the 2-mana spider that summons a 1/1. So I'm hoping he drops that down here. Not an Elise. Do I trade the Cursed Keeper in? I think so, because Elise stays at 5 attack or at 5 health, but I get the 5 attack unit that trades favorably into it.
My little dear.
So this is a net positive for me, I think. And of course the opponent gets another Spiderling.
It is you.
Or a Spiderling to shore up his defenses. Please attack into me, opponent, with at least one spider. Never mind, please don't attack into me anymore.
Get her out from the darkness.
Well, I can do this, like so. And really buff up one of my preys. Can also just do this to refuel my hand. What do I care about more? Do I care about denying the level up? Honestly, the level up is not my biggest concern. I feel like a bigger concern would be the... A bigger concern would be me running out of value because I only have 2 cards in hand. I can simply Vengeance the Elise down. But in that case, if I'm going with that game plan, no, I can't block with the Warden. I can't block Elise with the Warden Spray, so I really need to do this. I'd much prefer to keep the Escape Abomination alive, but it is what it is.
So young.
And we don't even get that many cards back, because we give 2 Spiderlings to the opponent.
Is beneath the skin.
I can Vengeance that thing down. Let's pass the turn, see what the opponent does. Okay. Let's Vengeance deal these down. Actually, no. Let's kill that one instead. I'm going to actually drop down some units here and then save the Vengeance for next turn, because I don't know if he has an Elise in hand or not. That can also be a bigger threat than Elise, but I think Elise is still scarier, so let's go ahead and Vengeance the Elise. Of course he has another Elise. I guess there's nothing I can do. So let's pass the turn. Everything gets traded. the very least I can ensure one of my units is going to get all of these buffs. That's a decent enough draw. Unfortunate part is I'm struggling to keep the opponent's board under control. That's a Thresh, that's fine. Let's play a 3-3. Try to go ahead and remove most of the opponent's scary stuff by doing this attack. I'm going to get a cane. Actually no, it's preferable I don't get a cane. In fact, also let's drop on the Mage Seeker to act as a blocker next turn. Another Spiderling and another Elise. Did he get all 3 Elises in the top of his deck? How lucky can he be?
I am the weapon.
Do I die here? I'm almost dead. And my board is entirely dead. Thresh is alive, or Thresh levels up, but he's not alive. It would be great if I got that like one turn earlier, but I couldn't have figured that would happen. Well, at the very least, this can stall the opponent for one turn, if he doesn't open attack immediately next turn. He opens attacks immediately. You know, just yesterday I saw a post saying how the AI doesn't open attack if he has lethal on board. I guess that guy was wrong. Well, I still have the revive, so I can try again. Maybe this time around the opponent won't have 3 Elises in his opening hand. Maybe this time around I'll draw the lifesteal guy in a timely manner. Let's skip the Mark of the Isles. I keep the Glimpse Beyond just because I'll always have a sack outlet for it. Unfortunately I didn't get the best early game unit I could have.
Lady Elise, where are you?
Okay, that's a decent start for him. Not so much for me.
I know just the place.
+2/+2. Well, let's kill the Elise. Ooh, that's a nice hit. Of course the opponent has a second Elise, why wouldn't he? I should have known.
I want to go home.
3-3. Yeah, let's do it like so. Next turn I can go for the Thresh. And use debuffs from the prey to hopefully trade into the Elise. Like so. Yeah, we get Thresh to become an 8-2, but it should be alright. The opponent's mostly out of cards, and I have actually been decently lucky enough to not hit that many Preys or Spiderlings in my deck. Let's go ahead and drain one there, kill that one, trade that one in, and trade that one in. We're going to lose 5. But this spiderling is going to be very large, and it's going to have a bunch of keywords. You know what? That spiderling might not be so bad because I can drop down cane and trade into it.
I follow you anywhere.
Why are you dropping down the Elise when I can just do this? That's definitely a mistake on the opponent's end. But I'll take it. Is that his third Elise? I hope it is. In fact, yeah, it's his third Elise, so he has no more Elises in deck. We've managed to exhaust him. So now my biggest concerns would be the 5 mana that buffs everything and the 4 mana that buffs everything on attack. And other than that, I should be fine. Also the 8 mana card that generates a board. That can also be a problem. But you know what? The fact that the opponent won't get... I guess I don't get to have card draw. But like I was saying, I guess the fact that the opponent doesn't get to have that many more options is going to be good. Now most of his units are just 1/1s, or most of the cards in hand are only 1/1s. You know what? Let's gamble again. I think I can hit some decent cards here. And I made the correct call. Sure, the opponent's perma-stunning my spiderling. But you know what? That's fine. Let's just attack like so. If the opponent wants to trade in, let him. I win by controlling the board.
Drown in shadow.
And now if Kane leveled up, I can go ahead and flame as Rust and get some healing by trading into the crappy 1/1s the opponent has. Really, an open attack. Maybe Elise is just more eager to open attack. Ooh, I take 3 damage and he gets the 1/1s buffed up to 3/3s. How scary. Except not. Well, that's one concern gone. The fact that he didn't play it on a offensive turn is very good for me. Okay, the opponent's just doing it on purpose to throw the game. Why would they waste these buffs after they attack? It doesn't make any sense. I'll take it though. Let's attack like so. Pull that guy, pull that guy. Let's buff up the Thresh, while at the same time pulling here. We can pull this one, and we'll attack with the Kamavaran Soldier. Perfect trades all around. Thresh is going to level up here, but it's not going to even matter because I don't need to cheat out the Kane. The game's already over. A 4th Elise. Okay. I guess the opponent just gets to break the rules and have 4 champions in his deck.
My true beauty.
Well, fortunately, he only got to level up Elise here. So I don't have to worry about him suddenly controlling the board with the challenger portion of Elise through most of the game. Let's make sure that Elise dies there. Sure, he killed one of my largest attack units. But considering that we're both out of cards, but my units are larger, I think I'm in a better position. Just a slightly better one though. Let's pull there, pull there, I'll pull there, and we have more than enough damage to kill the opponent. And we even heal ourselves back up. Unfortunately, we won't get back the revive, but I'm certain that Garen is going to be easier than Elise, unless his Garen is going to be discounted and come down earlier than the Elise, in which case things might be a little bit dicey for me. Let's get the excavators charged. I feel like Thresh comes down for free and then we can play a whole bunch of cards right afterwards. Frost Shot. If you have the attack token, Frostbite the strongest enemy and give it vulnerable this round. When allies attack, grant allies in your deck +1/+1. All of Clever Camouflage. What's Clever Camouflage? Pick a follower, pick one of 3 random followers that cost 2 more to transform into. It's fleeting and burst. You know what? I think that might be relevant. Most of the units in my deck are pretty bad, so maybe transforming them into higher cost ones is the correct call. Maybe it will surprise the opponent. The Dread, Shadow in the Brush. The foe transforms one of their units, give it +1/+2 this round. Kill the player's units with 0 power. Let's go for the Shadow in the Brush. Honestly, that encounter seems a bit easier. And the Prankster, Wings and the Wave. I'll keep the Wings and the Wave and toss everything else. Let's see what we get here. In fact, I'm going to go for the Wings and the Wave right away. Let's see if the opponent trades in. And let's see if we get lucky here. Tasty Fae Folk. None of these survive, but it's interesting to see what our power does. Valley of Imitation, okay. Interesting. Let's play the Keeper of the Box. Ooh, that's frightening. Well, at the very least it's only a Valley of Imitation, so that thing's going to transform back into a landmark at the end of the turn. I don't know if it will keep the buffs though. Well, I'm going to get the Darkwater Scourge down, even though I don't need to heal. Mostly to go ahead and force the opponent to block, because this is way too large of a hit for them to take. And we managed to take down the Valley. So that's a positive, I'd say. Phantom Buckler, yeah. It's a better unit. And now that's also a good thing. With the praise I can just ensure that I have larger units now. Off of the praise. Let's Phantom Prankster. Also, I'm going to kill this spray here in order to get some card draw going. Ooh, free Thresh. I'll take it. Next turn I'll go for a big turn. Let's see if I can transform this into something good. Warfrat. The Stone Stackers are better. They have impact. It's a better keyword to give Thresh. Or I can just do this, give Thresh Overwhelm and then impact next turn. That seems like a better plan. Ooh, fortunately I buffed the Thresh by a whole bunch, otherwise he would have died there. Let's drop on the Warden Spray, I suppose, and end our turn. Now we're just waiting for the opponent to pass priority back to us in order to close out the game. Let him play as many followers as he wants. Okay, I'm going to do this, mostly because that allows Thresh to get out of range and it kills the power cub. Now it's game over for the opponent. Goodbye, opponent. You won't be missed. Ooh. That would have been definitely relevant, opponent, I'm sure. That -3 attack on Thresh was definitely what's going to save you there. Fortunately, my Thresh had Spell Shield. Now let's see, Tortured Prodigy, Stalking Shadows, Legion Marauder, all of these are pretty bad. I guess Stalking Shadows because it's card draw, even though there are better options for card draw. Soul Gorger is interesting, Atrocity is interesting, Heedless Resurrection is interesting. Never dull when an ally strikes, granted +1/+0. I'm not feeling like wasting my last reroll here, so sure. Wait, there's no mid-boss in this adventure. Or there's not a single mid-boss in this adventure, there's two, I forgot about that part. Crap. I don't know if we can deal with Viego. Do I want any of these cards? Atrocity is a way to close out the game, but can we even get there consistently? Most of the time when we're at the point where we can cast Atrocity, we're already closing out the game just by attacking, so I don't think that's going to be relevant enough. And this is too slow, Soul Gorger is also too slow, so no, I can't go for anything else. And what do I choose here? I definitely want the extra shop for the extra power. I have the spare money to do so too. Hopefully the opponent doesn't high roll me here. Let's toss all of these. I'll keep the Vile Feast, maybe it will be relevant. Even although the foes units have +1 health, so it might not matter. Let's see what happens here, what cards he drops down. Okay, interesting. I can attack with both of my units. Depending on what he blocks, I can just do this and trade the Warden Spray in. Now that prey is going to be incredibly buffed up. Minion is interesting, gives me a source of infinite value. Never mind, because the opponent decided... Well... Fortunately the opponent decided to silence the prey, so... Maybe the infinite value off of the minion is still a good plan.
I see her.
He's going to full heal something. Oh, let's trade both of these in like so. Worst case scenario, I'm just working to buff up the Warden Spray.
The chains, they never stop.
Unfortunate part is that the opponent's units are going to be buffed up out of range of most of my strike spell or kill spells. Pick a follower from the top 4 cards of your deck. Do I want to do it now? I'll take a defensive turn. Okay, that's perfect. That's a perfect hit there. Wait. Transforming makes it so they lose the buffs, right? I hope so. Let's pick the lowest statted one. Actually, they keep the buffs. Well, I did it for science. Right after I realized that I could transform the opponent's units.
The stars shine a guiding light.
Yeah, I don't want the opponent to get that off. But it's not like I can do anything about it. So I'll just summon the Kain and hopefully trade into both of these. Next turn. Okay, the opponent's fully healing that one. Sure. Next turn I can go Darkwater Scourge, force the opponent to block. And then I can get cheeky with the
What wisdom
Kain.
do you bring from your journey, grandfather?
None are lost when there are stars to follow.
By doing this. Laws of the Dragon, sure. Kain survives. I heal 10, maybe force the opponent to block.
My path is set.
The opponent's going to full heal that thing, isn't he? I hope not.
The rage, let it loose.
Worst case scenario, I'll develop a unit that has lifesteal, so
To the Imperial.
I'll be able to hold myself for a bit longer. Let's drop down the median. Maybe it will be able to act as a jump blocker for something later on.
I see the heavens aflame.
Of course, the opponent silences my lifesteal unit.
As one to watch their end.
It's fine. Let's just do this. Do I want more blockers? Actually, I'll pass.
Quiet, Vin. You'll break my concentration.
You can count on
Let's see how the opponent
quiet as a star.
attacks here. Let's block there. I think killing the Overwhelmer is a higher priority. Then I can also jump block there. Then we do this. Kain goes up to 7. Kain goes up to 8. And then we do this. And Kain goes up to 9 and survives. And the opponent doesn't even have a spare mana to play anything else, so he has access to no combat tricks to stop Kain from growing or from surviving. These units are getting a little bit out of hand though. But now I also have a massive last wind, so that's good. Let's split the keeper of the box, see what the opponent does.
Saw your return, master.
Okay. I think I want to grow. Or maybe not. Maybe I don't want to grow the rest as much as possible here. Maybe I just take the kill on that unit to get elusive into the pool of keywords I'll have access to.
In service to the Imperial.
And fortunately the opponent decided to spend his mana to heal that one, because now I can also go ahead and kill it with the cane quite freely. Perfect, I've managed to establish board control.
When others threaten, we must take action.
And I think it's smooth sailing from here.
Time to return. In service to the Imperial.
He's buffing up that by quite a whole lot, but fortunately I can just trade both of those in. Sure, those units grow by a massive amount, but it's fine. Especially because I can do this and kill that massive unit. Now, what do I do from here? Honestly, I'm inclined to pass, mostly so I can concentrate the buffs on something that's already on board. Let's attack like so.
A voice from within.
Actually, no. I can do this to the last wind
Vessel.
in order to ensure that dies. And that dies as well. And the opponent gets progressively out of options. Jump construct is fine as long as it trades into the opponent's unit. Ooh! Whatever's in that hand or in the opponent's hand is going to be very big.
Look at the sky.
Thresh levels up, but it's completely irrelevant. We're not winning this game by leveling up Thresh.
Any star, anywhere.
Ooh, that's scary. Maybe I can draw into a vengeance. No vengeances. But we can definitely kill my own units until I hit something good, right? 11 cards in deck. Maybe. There's a vengeance. Exactly what I needed. I knew I had a spare one. Perfect. Now I just have to wait for the next turn and I close out the game quite easily.
These jewels are more than mere trinkets.
Just pass the turn, opponent. Oh. He's going for a desperation attack. How uncouth. And game over. Goodbye, opponent. It was definitely a challenge to keep everything from spiraling out of my control, but I managed to do it. I'm speaking as if I have already won this adventure when I haven't even reached the second mid-boss. Cursed Keeper with Dragon Tooth, I'm definitely taking that. It's just going to make that unit even better. Mask Mother. Lethality. Yeah, sure, let's take Lethality. Makes it killing the opponent a bit easier. Mask Mother is decent too. Worst case scenario, we'd say 2 mana 3/2. I think that's fine. Now for the card cut. I think I should cut the Warden Spray. It's just a 1 mana 1/1 that generates a little bit of value. We don't really need that. and we had 4 copies of it, and it was a card without an item. So yeah, it was definitely for the best getting rid of it there. We have better early game choices now. Finally, Cursed Keeper is a contender for a keep. Okay, I know I was praising the Cursed Keeper, but I didn't want this many. Let's hope the opponent plays something I can trade into. That's not something I can trade into. Well, I can kind of trade into it now, at the very least. Really? Jerk move, opponent. And now I have to take 8. Oh, it's painful. Well, fortunately I have the Darkwater Scourge. Actually, I should Darkwater Scourge on a Mask Mother turn. I think that might be better. Meanwhile, doing this is probably the correct choice. Viego has Spell Shield. I was thinking about saving the Vengeance for that Viego, but maybe it's a mistake to do so. I'm going to go for a Mask Mother here. Now I can safely trade into... Never mind. I can no longer safely trade into the Soul Shepherd. But I'm still going to do it. Because this way I make it so he can't buff all of the ephemeral units he's about to summon. Let's see if I can get something better off of this spray. This is a 3-2. It's slightly better. He plays Viego. I'm going to play the Darkwater Scourge. That's fine. Really, you're trading Viego in? I guess he's going to get a Viego back, I suppose, with the Haunted Tomb. But I still feel like that's a mistake. Now we made the lifesteal permanent. Hopefully... Oh, that's unfortunate. The high lifesteal hit the unit with lifesteal. I can still force the opponent to do something here. Vengeancing the Spell Shield unit, definitely like the correct play by the opponent. Let's Talking Shadow, see if I hit something good. Let's get more Phantom Pranksters. They're a bit more valuable because the opponent's going to take 2 damage from them now. Ooh, Thresh. That's good. Let's play the Thresh. The opponent doesn't appear to have any more Viegos, or that many scary units for that matter. So I can just do this. Let's trade in the Prey. It will act as a decent jump blocker. Sure, the opponent's going to get a big buff on the Crawling Viper Worm. But I have a plan. Let's just pass the turn. Thresh now has a bunch of keywords and stats. I'm going to drop down the Darkwater Scourge. Stunning Shadow. Really? On the unit that still has Spell Shield. I guess, if you want to. Now we get to attack like so. Remove 2 of the opponent's most problematic units. And there's that. We even leveled up Thresh, even though it's not really relevant. Another invasive Eider Worm. Cool opponent. However, I don't think you're really in a great position. Ooh, are you really killing that one? I don't know if that's the greatest decision you've ever made. He's definitely going to get a lot of health back with the Darkwater Scourge. And him killing the Thresh here is definitely good for him. But if I somehow end up killing one of my own units before he can attack with the Darkwater Scourge, he would have died. But I can't do it. I'm just going to trade those two in. Ensure the opponent only heals one. Worst case scenario, the Cursed Keeper dies next turn and the opponent just dies from the damage from the Phantom Pranksters. So that's exactly what I'll be betting on. And the opponent has no answers. Perfect. The game dragged out for a while. I was almost out of resources. So was the opponent, but still. I was almost out of resources, but I still managed to pull off the win. Turns out lethality was indeed a good choice. It helped us kill the opponent a lot easier there. Do I want Savage Shield on the Kane? It would make him a better unit. Yeah, I'll pick up the Savage Shield on Kane. Just so I have a better unit being pulled out of the Thresh. Game start. Create a random darken equipment in hand. It costs 2 less. You know what? That's a bit better than just having a equipment in my deck. The foe deals 10 damage to their nexus and rallies. The player cannot damage the foe's nexus. Samira's Arsenal. I have 600 gold, so I can in fact buy the legendary power off of the Samira's Arsenal, so I'm going to be greedy and go for this encounter. Though my greed might come back to screw me later. Yeah, I'll be fine. With lifesteal I can stall out the opponent for a while. Let's drop down the Cursed Keeper. He responds with a Cursed Keeper of his own. I can let the Cursed Keeper hit me. Then I can trade my Cursed Keeper for his Cursed Keeper. Which is better for me, because my units are going to grow. The one that I wanted to grow didn't grow. But it's fine. Let's drop around the Camavaran Soldier. We can double block there. We can block all of those in fact. The opponent heals 10, but this is a bit better for me actually, because the opponent's slowly and surely running out of resources. Meanwhile, all of this lifesteal and whatnot that the opponent's giving his units, I can, or that the opponent's getting from his units, I can just give my own units, which makes it significantly better for me. I don't want the opponent to keep a minion, so I'm going to do this. Sure, opponent, you can have a Yeti Handler. You're welcome. Ooh, I have to transform the Undying as well. Let's block with the one cost. Or the Prey. The opponent's almost dead. So we just have to survive this turn and we'll be fine. Let's get another jump blocker just in case. Stalking Shadows. It heals him for 3, which does give him 1 extra turn after this one. So the opponent will actually survive for 1 extra turn. I need to transform those Undyings. I'll be able to do that to 1 next turn, but I'm not certain that it will be enough.
We have waited so long, Solana.
And now peace is just moments away.
Wait. The foe was taking 1 extra damage from his own power because of my power, really? Well, that's great for me then. Makes it so I end the game 1 turn faster. Savage Shield on the Darkwater Scourge. Doubling dice on the Vile Fist. Yeah, doubling dice on the Vile Fist is a bit better. If you can get multiple casts of it, that would be cool. When you gain the attack token, give allies +4/+0 this round. +1 starting mana. When you play your 3rd card each round, grant allies +1/+1. The Beautiful and Brutal is tempting, but so is this one. I am going to go for the style on them, just because I save up some money to spend on the shop. And the extra mana is pretty decent. Now, Bound Wings. When you target an enemy, curse it with shackles. Synergizes decently with our Vile Fist and with our transform effect that we got from our power. Now, Evershade Stalker or the Pale Death. I think Evershade Stalker might be easier because as long as we keep control of the board, we'll be fine. And now we even start with 1 extra mana. So we have more stuff to do on turn 1. Can go Camouflage Soldier. I'll keep the Darkwater Scourge as an option. Vile Fist in order to curse something that I don't like with shackles. Everything's going fine for me.
What does he want from me?
That's cool. His own Warden Spray. I'm going to attack with both of these, try to keep the opponent's board under control. I can transform the Camouflage Soldier into something that costs more. I think that's the correct choice. This is a slight buff on stats, so sure. Now we have a turn 4 or a turn 2, 11-10. Let's Vile Fist that down. It stops it from attacking, and we get a second Vile Fist. Perfect. Let's keep that. Okay, we won't keep the chain going. It's fine, we already got more than enough value out of it. Let's refill our hand. Nice. We'll keep the Darkened Staff there, so we can go for a nice attack next turn. Let's go ahead and keep control of the board. I'll let that thing live. If the opponent wants to pay the Shackles Curse, I'm fine with it. Support is the elusive is nice. So let's get the unit with elusive.
Confine and contain.
Let's drop down the Phantom Prankster. Work on burning the opponent to death. The opponent doesn't really have that much of a board presence. Let's well fist step down. Yes, 2 more. Ah, it's fine. Let him attack with them. I can jump block both of them. I can jump block all 3 of them. The opponent's only hurting himself more by doing this. Let's see what I hit off of this. Wings and the Wave. Sure. Gives us an additional body on board.
Man overboard!
Ooh, that's a very big elusive. I'll just kill the opponent here. This is better. Just pull that one. Then I can just pull this one. And those are fearsome, so they can't be blocked. Perfect, we managed to find the lethal. That wasn't so bad. I was honestly expecting a more close game, because the Evershade Stalker is a decently hard encounter. At least when you're playing on the equivalent star rating. Let's go for our last healer and our last card cut. What should I cut here? Honestly, I think all the choices are decent. Maybe all of our cards are decent. Maybe the Wings and the Wave is the weakest thing out of all of these, because it's a 1 mana 3/3 or 1 mana 0/1 twice. Yeah, let's cut the Wings and the Wave. And now, Garen. The foe creates a single combat in hand, so I have to keep that in mind. My units will not be always safe. Let's toss that back into the deck. I'll keep the Vengeance just in case, because I know the opponent starts with Garen in hand. That's unlucky.
Approaching the battlefront.
Vanguard, Defender. I think the opponent will play something else. Perfect. That's what I wanted. I can Mask Mother. Develop something that can block favorably into one of the opponent's units. Sure, you got say decently sized Penitent Spire, but it's fine by me. That's a big Garen. Do I trade with this? I think so. Let's see if I can fish for something good here. When I transform from Blimpak Poacher's Ambush, okay, it doesn't work like that. But it's the biggest stat, so sure. Actually, this is my third card this turn, perfect. This way I draw one extra next turn, I trade into both of the opponent's units. Things are shaping up nicely for me.
For justice, for Demacia.
Darkwater's Scourge can't block, but I don't want to risk losing it, so I'm just going to drop it down. You know what? That's pretty cool of you, opponent, spending all your mana just so I could kill your Garen for free. Now, Pass the turn. Something else gets buffed up with all of our keywords. Okay. Know what, I'm feeling greedy, so let's drop down the cane before we attack.
Yes,
And it turns out it was the correct decision because the opponent can't do anything.
So cool. I've trained my whole life for this.
What's this cost? 2. Well, I think this is fine. I'm going to keep the prey around just so it keeps getting more of the... If I already have one last breath, deal one to the opponent's nexus. Yeah, I'll keep it around because of that. Let's do this to the Garen. No, he has the single combat in hand. I have to wait for him to do the single combat on something. That's perfect. Now I can just do this and kill the Garen. Poor opponent. He isn't getting to do anything at all.
I will not yield.
In fact, Garen is being significantly easier than the Elise fight.
Education!
They will fear my name.
And grovel before mine.
Can I kill him this turn? I have a very big rust. Depends on what he has here. Nothing. Okay then. We just get to win this way. You know what? That was definitely a bit of a challenge. Not the last fight, but the mid bosses were... They had me sweating. Especially Elise. Elise is very hard. It's probably the hardest part of this adventure. But the victory is a victory all the same. So yeah, that will be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Till then.